Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals at your service. We're broadcasting live from the KFAB studio, and we're brought to you by D&M Roofing and Dingman's Collision Center. You will not find another show anywhere in the Omaha area that talks about what we talk about, and that's Omaha growth and development, business expansion, construction, fun things, all involved with making Omaha an even more vibrant and prosperous place. Without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a legendary real estate deal-making machine, Trenton Magid.
You are too kind, Jeff Beals.
I only speak the truth.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A beautiful day here in sunny Dundee.
Yeah, mid to late summer day here. It's kind of nice outside, and a great weekend going into a good time of year. So, Trenton, we were at the Commercial Real Estate Summit yesterday. Several hundred people, many hundred people, packed into the CHI
About
Health
800
Center.
people, I believe.
Is that what it was? 800
Yeah.
people? Okay, so you had a bunch of people that do real estate brokerage, property management, development, real estate financing, appraisal, a lot of attorneys, builders, architects, kind of a Lollapalooza, if you will, a Woodstock for people that are in
Woodstock of real estate.
Woodstock of real estate. So did anything jump out at you at all during the conference yesterday?
I go for the networking. Congratulations to Jerry Slusky, Chris Menzinger, and the planning staff and Planet, which is the company that puts it on with them. And it was great to see our colleagues. It's not just, it wasn't just real estate brokers. It was attorneys, it was appraisers, developers, engineers, title insurance. It was a well-attended event. I think that it was all about the headwinds and the changing market, and has it changed? And there's some things that have changed. Obviously, interest rates have gone up, and they're expected to go up, especially after yesterday, the Fed chairman. Not such great news, but there's still a ton of money in the market everywhere, and especially in Omaha, Nebraska. So we don't see a lot of reductions in asking prices. My feeling is there are some deductions. I think some sellers and landlords will blink more than they did 6 months ago as far as getting tenants and attracting buyers.
You know, I thought one interesting thing that came out of the conference was during a session in which the topic was workplace, and the focus of that session was talking about the real estate impacts of work from home, hybrid schedules, things companies are doing to incentivize people to come back. And there was a representative from LinkedIn, which has a 1,000 person presence here in Omaha.
Beautiful building.
And that building just opened, I think, right about the beginning of the year this year, if I remember correctly, a couple 100,000 square feet, state of the art. And the guy was talking about all of the things that LinkedIn does to try and entice workers to actually come to the office. Because I think a lot of companies are realizing that, hey, in a lot of job functions, hybrid schedules are fine, but this whole work from home all the time really stifles creativity and innovation and collaboration. And I think a lot of companies are really struggling with it. And this guy made some comment at one point in time. He said, it's almost like we're saying, please come back to the office. We'll give you some donuts or whatever the case may be. But in LinkedIn's situation, it's a hell of a lot more than donuts. And at one point during the presentation, it kind of reminded me of like those people that are too afraid to discipline their kids. They're like, please come down from the playground, Jimmy, please. Whereas I was always like,
we'll give you a new bike.
With my kids, I was like, get off the damn playground equipment.
Well, I think that
I just wonder if like maybe some companies are, I know they're hard to get and it's easy to lose them, but I wonder if some companies are coddling employees maybe a tad bit too much.
I'm sure it's the same in China and in Russia. But I got to tell you, we still shouldn't lose sight of work ethic and rewarding hard work and getting commitment from employees. And it's a trade-off. You can coddle your employees, you can bribe them, you can do whatever you want to, but it's like buying your friends too. You got to have a real connection. You got to have a shared mission, and the employees that work hard, whether it is from home or on the road or in the office, are the ones that are going to ultimately succeed. I think that the days are numbered are the employees that thought that they could resign from working hard and still get their paycheck and have longevity. Yeah, you could have done that for the last year or something like that, but I don't see that as a great long-term play.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I mean, that said, the shortage of talent isn't going anywhere. I mean, the math doesn't lie. There's just not enough people to keep up with this rapidly increasing productivity that we as a global economy and certainly in this country and this city are creating. But yeah, at some point there's got to be a commitment on the part of employees to have some traditional values towards work ethic and commitment.
Well, I went to the construction breakout session, and the guys were saying, especially the building owners and stuff, and the general contractors are like, I like the subcontractors and I like the vendors that don't make their problems my problem. And I thought that really hit home. Is everybody gets to use that as an excuse. We've all been to restaurants lately that say we're short of staff or those tables aren't open because we don't have staff. And it may be true, but you got to wonder, people are going to start going to the restaurants that know how to retain their staff. And people might be willing to pay more for things, just like the contractors are saying. Timing is probably more important than cost in a lot of these projects. They need to utilize their assets and get their space to grow their businesses. So, yeah, it's all a real problem, but the excuses are going to fall short.
That is fascinating. You said people are going to go to those restaurants that somehow or another figure out a way to keep their staff in an atmosphere where those excuses for closing or not being able to have the whole restaurant open are there. Fascinating thought, because I think you might be onto something.
Well, and I think it's to expand on that, I think it's everybody talks about good customer service, which has been lacking a lot more than it has in the past. And with the excuses and employee burnout, call it what you will, but I think that businesses and restaurants and employers, maybe they have to treat their employees more like customers, not kiss their butts, but at the same time get them to buy into the mission and be part of it. If they have to give more incentives, as long as the incentives aren't just throwing money at them and throwing benefits and toys at them, but make it performance based. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what the equation's been missing lately is employees have a responsibility. They're a business unto one, whether it's a janitor or one of the top corporate jobs or whatever. Those employees have to not just take, but they have to give back.
And with that, we are going to go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. They know mortgages, and they've been knowing mortgages for more than 30 years. If you want to stop in and see them, just go to 114th and Davenport during normal business hours. You can meet with one of their mortgage brokers, talk about your situation, talk about what you have in mind, the type of house that you want to buy, and they'll work with you. They'll listen to you and try and come up with the best option for you. FHA, VA, conventional loans, they do all of that, and you can find them online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Go ahead, Trent.
You know where else people should go today and
Where?
Tomorrow? The next Twist of Fate estate sale. Thank you, everyone, for coming to my family's estate sale last week, but there is some residue. There's a lot of jewelry that got carried over to 1217 South 108th Street, just south of Pacific Street, and some great costume jewelry, some great regular jewelry. They're having another estate sale. Go to Twist of Fate estate sales online and go check out that estate sale. And Jeff, thanks for letting me put that in there.
Huh. I thought after last week we were done talking about estate sales, but I guess not. The estate sale topic lives on.
I like those guys.
And back to the commercial real estate and economic development news of the week. First of all, the Moxie by Marriott Hotel has topped out. Trenton, what does it mean when we say a building has topped out?
Well, if no one got hurt, then you see a Christmas tree on top of it, and that means that the steel is completed on top of a building.
Yeah, all the structural steel. In the case of the Moxie by Marriott, it's more of like the structural wood, but it is topped out and looking nicely. There's a picture of it that Brad Williams took, And we posted it on the Groma Facebook page if you want to see it. But 6 Stories really stands out. It's on the site in the old market. Remember where the old diner used to be? So it's a heck of a lot taller than the diner, I can tell you that much. Speaking of tall, the Mutual of Omaha Tower, we got a little bit of an update on that. A representative from Mutual of Omaha told KMTV this week that the company is deep into design and there is a focus on having the building being sustainable. Pretty much any time a major corporation builds a big building, you have to have some focus on sustainability, if for no other reason than to appease constituents like customers and employees, et cetera, et cetera. But that's good.
You mean that $600 million built property is not just going to be like the Trans-Mississippi Exposition in 1898, where it'll just last a year or two?
Yeah, and it's funny that you should say that because in the article they said it's being designed for a 100-year lifespan. But it's interesting. That brings up a thought I had years ago. The skyscrapers that we build in America today, though, how long could those last if properly maintained? My guess is thousands of years. I mean, as long as there's not a bomb that takes them down or
lovely.
Well, in 1,000 years, stuff happens, but I think these skyscrapers, if properly maintained, could. I mean, put it this way: if the Colosseum in Rome is still mostly standing with engineering standards of that day, the skyscrapers we build in America during modern times could conceivably be around for thousands of years.
Yeah, and I've been through the Colosseum, and there are not a lot of window seals on that one still.
Yeah, not a lot of mullions that are not a lot of what is your favorite term when it comes to windows? Butt glazing.
Oh, butt glazing. That's when 2 pieces of glass you see that kind of rubber gasket between them, kind of a control joint where there's no mullion. It's butt glazing.
So glass touches glass is called, with a little bit of adhesive, is called butt glazing. So at any rate, there's not a lot of that at the Colosseum in Rome either. We have a 66,000 square foot warehouse coming to just north of Carter Lake at 13th and Fort Street in Omaha. This is not terribly far from Epley. City of Omaha approved $1.2 million in tax increment financing for that project earlier in the week. It'll be built on 4.1 acres, so it's good to see some industrial infill in that area. Do not know about any sort of tenants that may or may not be coming into the area, but I do believe there's at least one. The Douglas County Board has allocated $95,000 of its ARPA money, American Rescue Plan Act money, to Creighton University, and those funds will pay for a feasibility study on converting 3 soon-to-be vacant buildings alongside 29th and Burt and 30th and Webster, so in that Creighton University area. And those buildings are going to be empty about a year from now. The university may want to convert those buildings into affordable housing, childcare, or other community services so as to support the university, I would imagine. And then the Omaha Public Library, speaking of the Mutual of Omaha future skyscraper headquarters, the Omaha Public Library held a farewell gathering last weekend at the W. Dale Clark Library. I didn't see you in any of the photographs, Trenton.
In that brutalistic style building?
Yeah.
That's actually what it's called.
Yeah, I love that brutalist architecture because that building...
What was it called at the time?
I don't know. But when you look at it, it is brutal. And
it's very modern.
Probably, yeah. So maybe they even called it brutalist back there. I don't know. We should have an architect friend
like
send
Beirut or something.
Send us a text. So a temporary downtown branch opens very soon, Monday at 11th and Howard, and that will be the temporary downtown branch until next March, in which the downtown branch goes into the currently under renovation building at 1401 Jones Street. Demolition on the W. Dale Clark is scheduled to begin right around October 1st. And talking about some Midtown news items, the former NP Dodge office building at 3552 Dodge Street, just kind of to the north of Mutual of Omaha's current building, has been leased to the state of Nebraska. State of Nebraska taking over that 8,000 square foot
Do we know
building.
what they're going to do in there?
Probably state of Nebraska office things.
That's really specific.
Functions, probably some functions.
The sister building to the state of Nebraska office building downtown, the red one?
Yeah, my guess is they'd probably have some desks and some cubicles. would be my
There you go, ladies. You tune into the Groma Show for the specifics.
That's why we do our best. Hey, speaking of that same area, talked to the developer yesterday of that it's probably I can't remember exactly, but like 7 or 8 story apartment building planned for the corner of 38th Avenue and Dodge Street, southeast corner. They have to demo 3 existing houses before that project can be built. And it looks like that demo is planned for November, possibly around November. And that will be another one of those TOD type projects where you're transit-oriented development, where you're putting pretty good density right along that Dodge Street corridor because of the BRT. So Trenton, I noticed something yesterday, speaking of that. You and I were at a meeting in Midtown until about 6:30 last night. So we left about 6:30, and I was driving west on Dodge Street, and I was amazed by the amount of passenger traffic on the BRT, people waiting on the platforms. There were a bunch of kids dressed in purple, presumably going down to Central High School on 2 of the platforms that were eastbound.
Yeah, they
good to see it being used.
Unveiled the Gale Sayers statue. Did you see that?
Yeah, I thought it looked really cool. Yeah. That's
Kinda
really
like
cool.
An older Gale Sayers, though.
But he was wearing a football uniform.
Yeah.
Truly one of the most famous guys to ever come out of Omaha. So
Absolutely.
That's probably a cool day for the Central High School community. All right, that's your news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage Company, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to bring on April Mitchell from QC Kinetix. You may have heard that company advertised on KFAB. Fascinating story. We're going to be talking about all of that with her, so just stay tuned for a mere moment, and we'll be back. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid here in the KFAB studio. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing. D&M Roofing is the company you call for any commercial or residential roofing need, whether it's a whole new roof or to fix an existing one, a nice maintenance program for commercial roofing. They even serve Iowa, too. They have a lot of business all the way over in the Des Moines, Iowa area, and of course here in their hometown of Omaha, dndmroofing.com. Well, you may have heard the term QC Kinetix if you listen to KFAB regularly, and it's a really cool company and a really cool concept. And as you know, we like to feature interesting companies on the show, and we have with us from QC Kinetix, April Mitchell. Good morning, April, and welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So, yeah, our pleasure. Why don't you give us kind of the 30,000-foot view of exactly what QC Kinetix is all about?
Sure, I'll be happy to. So QC Kinetix, we offers non-surgical solutions for chronic joint pain. Okay, this could be pain from anything head to toe, knees, shoulders, tissue injuries from playing sports, tennis, pickleball, lifting weights, running, or, hey, it could just be from just old age, right? And so we offer these modern therapies for this chronic pain, and this is for people who've been told that surgery might be their only option, but we're here to tell you that that's really not the case. These treatments really get to the root cause of the chronic pain area, and what we do is we heal, repair, and restore that tissue by using customized treatments that's based on the patient's individual case. And these treatments use your own body, so they're all natural. We're not going to introduce anything foreign into your body. We're taking the best parts of your body, taking it out, making it really protein-rich, concentrated, and then we're going to inject them back into your body. We have an 85% success rate, no downtime, no medications, no steroids.
So QC Kinetix, is it a new concept? Has it been around for a while? Is it a franchise?
Great question. So, pro athletes have been using these treatments for years. They've got the best doctors out there. And so these treatments have been introduced to the public probably in the last 4 to 5 years. Emmett Smith is our national partner for QC Kinetix. He's had, several long-term injuries as his many years as being an athlete. And he's just one of many athletes that have used this. But we see many, many patients across the United States. QC Kinetix was started in North Carolina by a founding team of doctors who specialized in these joint areas.
And so if I have a chronically sore, aching left knee, what would happen if I went in and worked with your people?
Well, knees are the number one problem that people come in with. We probably treat more knees than anything else. What you do is come meet with our doctor. We definitely want to make sure that you're a great candidate, so you don't have anything in your medical history that might say, we just want to make sure that we're going to prepare you for the best treatment plan possible. So you'd come in, meet with our doctor. We put together a protocol that works based on your joint pain issues. And then you would be coming in probably every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on what your treatment plan looks like. We do plasma, PRP, we're doing class 4 laser, and really what we're doing is getting ready to prepare that joint area to really to be in the best possible case, so that when we take stem cells out of your body and re-inject it into that joint area, you've got a fantastic area that is ready to be healed.
So, April, you have the Omaha franchise. How did you get involved or find out about QC Kinetix, and what made you decide to become invested in it?
Oh, well, I'm passionate about holistic medicine as a whole. I felt like Omaha was a perfect market. We're really, we've got a lot of traditional healthcare here, and this is a much more modern look at the way we can look at medicine into the future. I do have a clinic open in Bellevue right now, and I'm about to open one in West Omaha very, very soon. So this is a growing joint therapy trend, and many people just realize that they don't want to have that downtime. They don't want to go under the knife, have any surgery, and they're looking at alternatives. And QC Kinetix offers that.
Where will the future one in West Omaha be located?
That'll be Davenport, so it'll be on 149th in Dodge area out there.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Well, April, we appreciate you bringing us up to speed. Sounds like a great option for a lot of patients, and we thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's April Mitchell, owner of the Omaha offices of QC Kinetix, one currently operating in Bellevue and another one planned for 149th and Dodge. Going to take our middle of the show break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Builders District downtown as part of our Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight. Also going to be talking about where Nebraska ranks as a great state to do business and much more. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Maggot at your service. We're brought to you by D&M Roofing and Dingman's Collision Center. Dingman's Collision Center, family owned and operated since 1996. They constantly win those Best of Omaha awards. They got 4 locations: Northwest Omaha, Midtown Omaha, Southwest O, and in downtown Papillion. And they can help you with auto body, paint, repair, and mechanical too. Highly recommend them if you need any auto care services. And that is Dingman's Collision Center. Well, let's go into our commercial real estate development spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies. Noddle Companies is a major real estate developer located right here in Omaha. They do projects in different parts of the country, but we really pay close attention to the ones they do around here. And some of their big projects around here include the Builders District. And I was noticing this week in the World Herald, cool article on the Builders District. The World Herald's a little bit late to the game on this because there was a lot of approvals that went through a while back, but they did write a good article about it.
You just need to listen to our show more.
That's true. And one thing that they mentioned in that article that I don't believe we've talked about when we talked about the Builders District was the plan for a small but full-service grocery store in the Builders District. Now,
Wow.
For those people that don't remember, the Builders District is that little area south of Cumming Street, north of I-480, between the baseball stadium area and Creighton University. And the anchor of it is the Kiewit headquarters. And then right across the street, we talked about a couple weeks ago, that Mass Timber building, 5-story office building, $57 million investment, starting construction on that in September next month. It'll be a 120,000 square foot building right at 15th and Mike Fahey Street. So those are kind of the anchor area, but it also includes Kiewit University, the Cambria Hotel, the existing Union Pacific Child Care Center, and then there's room for a lot more projects in that area.
Do you think that grocery store will go into the timber building, or?
That I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. We're going to try and get Jay Noddle on the show here in the next few weeks because we haven't had him on in quite some time, and we'll ask him about a few of those details. One other thing, I saw a new rendering, a fairly recent rendering of the Builders District, and there's going to be a park area that's inspired by the Sunny's Park in Exarban Village, also another Noddle Company's development.
Oh, that'd be sharp.
And if you look at the rendering, from the rendering, it looks like pickleball courts or volleyball courts or something like that. And then a lot of the stuff that reminds you of that little area by HDR and the Interrail Food Hall where the Sunny's Airstream concession stand is located.
I wonder if the city's going to codify the zoning code so every new development has to have pickleball.
Well, it is very popular these days.
I'm sure it'll last.
Have you played?
I haven't, you?
No, but I've got some friends that are really getting into it, and might be worth giving it a try. Supposedly it's a good form of physical fitness.
I'm going to bring my shuttlecocks.
Okay, on that note, you have your commercial real estate development spotlight for the week in the can and ready to go. Hey, we're going to share some good news about Nebraska. Nebraska is ranked number 7. That is number 7 on CNBC's top states for business in 2022. And that is the second highest ranking among the 7 states or so in our immediate region, basically Nebraska and its border states.
We'll take it.
So CNBC scored all 50 states on 88 metrics related to economic competitiveness and business competitiveness. And all of this was thrown into a whirling, derving, twirling machine. And the results were that North Carolina is the single best state for business, and Mississippi, sadly, was 50th.
Wow, that's got to be tough. How do you promote that?
Could you imagine you're like a local booster?
Mississippi, we got nothing.
Mississippi, we're 50th. I mean, can you imagine if you're like
it's all up from here.
Nowhere to go but up. So come join us. We'll give you a really good deal. But seriously.
We're at the top of the bottom.
Okay, can I say this?
Yeah.
All right. I do think those are very funny quips you're throwing out there, however. But what would it be like to be the governor or the head of economic development when you try to sugarcoat that one?
Sorry.
About Nebraska coming in number 7. How did we fare with other states in the area? Well, Colorado, damn that Colorado, they beat us. They came in number 4. But at least we're quite a bit ahead of Iowa, which came in at a very respectable number 12. Kansas was 21, South Dakota 22, Missouri was 25th, and Wyoming was 32nd. So there's Nebraska and your 6 surrounding states. And by the way, the CNBC report said that gross domestic product growth in Nebraska in the first quarter was negative 2.4. That's not necessarily shocking because the whole country declined in the first quarter because of the quasi recession that we're in. And unemployment rate in May, which is the most recent one that CNBC reported, 1.9%. So pretty good, solid stuff. And we are going to take our final break of the hour. And when we're going to come back, it'll be time for the Turner Construction Lightning Round. And as I look at the list, I see a lot of things on it. So you want to make sure you stick around for that because we are going to give you the stuff that you will talk about at your cocktail party tonight. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by D&M Roofing and Dingman's Collision Center. We'll be back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals sitting just to the left of Trenton Maggot in the KFAB studio. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing. All right. You've been waiting the entire show for this. It's the Turner Construction Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a short period of time. And we do thank Turner for making this possible. Turner's really building for the future, and big projects like the Sarpy County Data Center, which is at like umpteen million square feet and 9 buildings right now. And who knows, maybe a little bit more to come.
Keeping them busy.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming, Sarpy County Data Center. But also a lot of other projects around town, big, medium, and little projects. Turner Construction does all of that. We're going to have Patrick Sokol and a couple of his colleagues on the show in a few weeks to kind of be talking about some of the projects that they're working on. And also, Turner does such a great job of being good to the community. Like just yesterday, Quinn Texmo from Turner was moderating one of the sessions at the Commercial Real Estate Summit. So we really commend them for their community involvement. Turner Construction, sponsor of your Grow Omaha Lightning Round. Whew, where do we begin?
Well, I'll tell you where we should begin is part of the lightning round should be what entertainment is available in Omaha.
You're not going to talk about the estate sale, but go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. At 1217 South 108th Street.
Yeah.
The one from Twist of Fate, estate sales.
You're welcome.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks, guys. Anyway, last night we went to the Funny Bone. Colleen Quinn runs the Funny Bone Omaha and Ismo. Go to ismo.fun. Ismo, ISMO, and he's a Finnish comedian that I've followed for like the last 5 years. Seen him a couple times, and they have shows at 7 and 9 o'clock tonight. So go see Colleen at the Funny Bone. Tell her that Trenton said you should go. That you should go.
And what will happen if you tell them that Trenton said you should be there?
She will smile and she will like me even more.
Well, that's cool. Let's talk a little bit about restaurants. Sophra Kitchen opens to the public Monday, and this is going to be in the former Gray Plume space at Midtown Crossing, located right there on the north side of Farnham. Sophra Kitchen is a sister restaurant to Sophra Creperie. Now, Sophra Creperie is a fast casual spot inside the Inner Rail Food Hall at Exarban Village. Sophra Kitchen at Midtown Crossing, opening on Monday, is going to be a full-service restaurant, initially focusing on breakfast and lunch items. We have got to go try that one.
Definitely. We're excited for that.
That sounds really good. I always liked that Gray Plume space. I thought it was just cool inside there, and I always liked the way it looked. So this will be a nice addition.
It's a great addition.
Absolutely. All right, we got a couple new stores coming to Westroads Mall. The first one is Sox Empire, and no, it's not.
Finally.
You've been waiting your whole life. It's not a Boston Red Sox or Chicago White Sox fan store. It's Sox.
As a puppeteer, I'm very excited about it.
Okay. Didn't know that about you, but they'll have various designs, so I imagine you could design quite a few sock puppets if you stop in there. That's coming to the Westroads. Also at Westroads, Ragstock. This is described as a trendy clothing chain stocking hip, new, used, vintage, and one-of-a-kind pieces for men and women. It actually is a chain of stores. It has 36 locations in 9 different states. The closest existing stores for Ragstock are in South Dakota and Iowa. So it's good to see Westroads getting some new stuff.
I went to Ragstock last year. It was fabulous.
That was something different. That was that concert that you attended. Cold Stone Creamery and Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory are coming soon to Nebraska Crossing. And
Sweet.
In fact, Nebraska.
Sweets.
In fact, Nebraska Crossing is giving 1,000 people a free ice cream treat. And you can get a part of that by going to their website.
They're going to drop them from helicopters.
Not sure about that, but they might drop some turkeys. Also at Nebraska Crossing, the official grand opening for REI Co-op has been declared. It will be Friday, September 23rd.
Holy moly, they made great progress.
Yeah, and the very next day, Saturday, September 24th, you want to know where you're going to be?
There.
Yeah, inside that REI store, because we're going to be broadcasting live from the brand new store the day after the grand opening. So kind of grand opening weekend, if you will. Hey, let's keep it in Nebraska Crossing. And we now have a little bit of a progress update for Dragon Walk. This is the restaurant from 144th and Fort Street that is opening a second location in Gretna at NEX.
It's good. I've been there.
I love it. Have you had the jalapeno chicken?
Nope.
If you really like spicy, go get that one. Anyway, mid-September opening at NEX. I was out there recently, maybe about a week ago, and they had an arbor set up, that wood structure. Is it a pergola? Do some people?
Yeah.
Or am I mixing that up?
Pergola is what you drive through or walk through.
Oh, okay.
You're at gazebo?
I don't know. It's that thing like people put it over their decks and their
awning?
And their patios. I thought they called them arbors, where they look like floor joists.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a structure.
Sort of block the sun, but not all of the sun. So they've got one of those over the patio, which looks really cool, and there's been a lot of interior work, so that one's definitely coming along nicely. So Baked After Dark apparently has the best chocolate chip cookies in Nebraska, at least according to tastingtable.com, which recently published best chocolate chip cookies in every state. Baked After Dark is located in Benson. The exact address is 2740 North 61st Street.
I think it's because they don't need to buy a vowel like Crumble Cookie.
Crumble Cookie? Yeah, Crumble Cookie. So Crumble Cookie gets all the credit because they're the big national chain, but apparently Baked After Dark is better. I have yet, confession, to try Baked After Dark, and I've heard many, many good things about it.
Where is it?
Benson. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I know where it is. Yeah, it's great. We've been there.
Yeah. I would say I think, now Crumble Cookie is fine. I don't quite understand why it gets the lines outside that it does, but I would say, in my opinion, I'm not trying to disrespect Crumble, but I think Goodly Cookie in Village Point is actually a little better.
They have like 175 or 200 flavors at Crumble Cookie. So everybody gets on social media on like Sunday to figure out because they're closed on Sunday, to figure out what flavors in addition to chocolate chip they're going to have of the 6 flavors.
Interesting. So that's kind of a big process. Well, the coming soon sign is now in place for Dave's Hot Chicken. Dave's Hot Chicken is this chain out of Los Angeles that sells Nashville-style spicy chicken. By the way, if you start eating Nashville-style spicy hot chicken, be prepared to get addicted. It is easy to get hooked on that. Yeah, that spice just kind of pulls you back in for more. Anyway, Dave's Hot Chicken leased a bay quite a while ago at a strip center in kind of the Midtown area, Saddle Creek Road and Davenport Street. The center is already home to Chipotle, Bank of the West. But anyway, the coming soon sign is going there. So we might be getting a little closer. We get on growomaha.com, people send us messages, and I'd say there's probably a message a week lately about when's Dave's Hot Chicken going to open up on Saddle Creek. So I don't know, but it looks like it's getting a little bit closer at least. So hopefully that'll make people feel a little bit better and stop asking the same question over and over again. Nebraska Examiner had an article recently in which they talked about some of the urban core multifamily apartment projects going on, market rate apartment projects. And it's interesting, if you think about it as a list, it's pretty impressive. One that they highlighted was $82 million project southeast of 48th and Dodge with 330 units. We've talked about all of these on Grow Omaha before. This is just kind of a summary. The other one's a $44 million project at 49th and Mayberry Street with 195 units. Then there's the Dizzy Mule project in North Downtown's Millwork Commons area, $35 million project, 172 units. And Little Bohemia along South 13th Street. This is actually between 13th and 14th, northeast of 13th and William Streets, 107 units. That one's coming along nicely. So those are some 4 big multifamily projects that are underway.
Those are expensive to build, too.
Yeah, no kidding. Cool looking stuff. So a lot of projects out there. So all of you beer fans, Site One Brewing's new tap room opened yesterday at 2611 North 204th Street. This is in a brand new retail strip, the same retail strip that recently opened Sunnyside Elkhorn, the West Omaha version of the 35th and Center Breakfast Place, and the third location of Javi's Tacos, which we talked about last week. That center is going to be popular with Javi's, Sunnyside, and Site One all in
Good eating
it.
And drinking.
Yeah, the original Site One is located near Blackstone-ish, 2611 Farnham Street. I guess that's a little bit east of there, but from that general area. And the music is playing, which means that, sadly, anything else we have on our list, we're going to have to bump to next week. So stay with us. We'll reveal the rest of the news and a whole bunch more then. In the meantime, have a nice weekend. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Maggot.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, D&M Roofing, and Turner Construction. We'll chat with you again next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.